What's up, guys? A little bit of everything Southern Homestead here. Today we're going to be hand pollinating our corn. This is a double sweet variety we have growing here. It's in wicking containers, and we'll go through the steps and the processes that we use. Stay tuned. All right, guys, here we are with our corn. We have 2 wicking containers full of corn. People always ask, can you grow corn in a container? Well, I think this is proof right here. So you can see we have nice tall stalks. That's a 6-foot wooden fence behind them. So real tall, real healthy. I think I planted maybe 8 or 10 per container, and I've only lost 1 since they started growing. So optimal times for pollination is mid-morning. Current time is about 9 o'clock in the morning, Central Standard. And you also want to pollinate when you first start seeing what's called the silks at around day 10. So at the top of the corn, the flowering portion there is called the tassel. And you'll see that some, such as this one here, everything's still laying lateral, so it's not quite ready to drop its pollen. But if you look at this one here, how all the tassels are just kind of hanging down, this one's ready to make pollen. And let's see, I'll give it a little shake. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the pollen's just falling. So the reason we hand pollinate, typically if you have a bunch of rows, corn, they recommend you growing it with at least 2 rows. If you have a whole lot of rows, they'll typically pollinate themselves. But to ensure that you get a good corn crop, good full ear of corn, no areas that's just cob without actual kernels, you want to make sure each silk is pollinated. So how we'll do that is we'll tear off a couple of the top tassels, and we'll just literally just dab them on each silk as we go about it. So the key is to try to use a tassel from a plant that the silk doesn't belong to. So you want to take a tassel from one and pollinate the silks of the others. So we'll go through the portions of the corn so you know what we're talking about, and then I'll show you how we go ahead and pollinate. Right, so on this corn, this here is called the tassel. As we come down, this is a stalk. A little further down, this is the silk, which is attached here to the cob. And we keep going down, and then this would be the main stalk right here at the base. If you see these little root systems here, corn develops that to help stabilize itself, to help it grow. If we were in the ground, we would hill up the dirt around that to about maybe here, and that would give the corn a lot of stability. But since we're in a container, we had to modify with some string around 12 inches up, just to make sure that none of the corn lays down when we have a strong wind. And just a little side note, corn is a heavy feeder. So what that means is it takes a lot of nutrients, a lot of nitrogen. I've added quite a few times 20-20-20 water soluble from Hoss Tools down this tube. I've done Miracle Grow. I've put a teaspoon of calcium nitrate just throughout the container, staying at equal distance from each stalk to try not to burn it. And as you can see, everything has a good dark green color, and it looks like we're gonna have a pretty good crop this year. We do have a problem with some of the little bugs here, but I don't actually see any right now, so we may have gotten rid of them. So let's go ahead and get some pollination done. All right, so the easiest way for me is I come to one container and I'll literally pluck off a couple of these from various plants, and then so I know I'm using it on a plant that it didn't come from, I'll just go to the other container. So we'll find us a silk. And we'll literally just take the tassel and we'll just kind of rub it and pat it on each silk. And the other one here. And what happens is once that pollen gets on that silk, it'll actually stay on there, and it'll fertilize or pollinate that cob of corn that it's attached to. So then Got another one here. And we'll just literally do that. See if we can catch that one in the back over there. And we'll just do that throughout the plant. And like I said, you want to take a tassel from a plant that the cob does not belong to, and around day 10 on mid-morning. So quick and easy video. Thanks for watching. This is our container corn, and we're hand pollinating.